for approval by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. U.S. Marines conduct live training on USS San Antonio in the Caribbean. The drills come amid U.S. strikes on alleged drug vessels in the area, killing 43 suspected narco-terrorists. The 47th ASEAN Summit starts today in Kuala Lumpur. East Timor joins a bloc of Southeast Asian nations as its 11th member state ahead of the three-day meeting. Pakistan talks of war ahead of truce talks with Afghanistan in Istanbul. Defense Minister Khwaja Asif says failure in talks would mean an open war. Catherine Connolly elected President of Ireland by a landslide margin. 68-year-old is a veteran lawmaker on the far left of the Irish political spectrum and a longtime critic of the European Union. Peruvians gathered in the streets of Lima for another anti-government protest after weeks of demonstrations over corruption and organized crime. The violent protests have left one person dead after being shot by a police officer. More than 50,000 people take to the streets of Spain's Valencia to mark the first anniversary of last year's deadly floods. Demonstrators called on the regional leader to resign over slow response to the disaster.
I'm going to have to know that we're going to make a deal. I'm not going to be wasting my time. I've always had a great relationship with Vladimir Putin.
U.S. President Donald Trump lays down prospects of a summit with Russian leader Vladimir Putin anytime soon. Says he would meet only if he knew that they are going to make a deal. U.S. President Donald Trump revokes Biden-era pollution rules for U.S. copper smelters, granting a 2-year exemption from limits on toxic emissions like lead and mercury. The administration said the rollback protects domestic mineral production and national security. The U.S. President Donald Trump has issued another warning to Hamas: quickly resume handing over bodies of deceased hostages to Israel or face consequences. After meeting the Emir and Prime Minister of Qatar during a refueling stop, Trump took to Truth Social and issued a 48-hour ultimatum to Hamas. He wrote, and I'm quoting, "Hamas is going to have to start returning the bodies of the deceased hostages quickly, or the other countries involved in this great peace will take action." Later, he expressed hope that the ceasefire will hold, but added if it does not, the blame would lie with Hamas.
I think it'll hold, yeah. Oh,
Do
it's good
they
hold.
believe it will?
Well, if it doesn't hold, I mean, if it does hold, that would be Hamas. Hamas will be not hard to take care of. It will be very quickly. But I hope it holds for Hamas too, because, you know, they gave us their word on something. They said they took out gang members. Well, I hope that's right. But they gave us their word on something, so I think it's going to. And if it doesn't, then they'll have a very, very big problem.
Hamas has released the remains of 15 deceased hostages, while the bodies of 13 others remain held in Gaza. It has claimed that it is unable to access all of the bodies and does not know where some of them are. But Israeli officials have said they do not believe this to be the case. However, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has authorized the entry of Egyptian teams into Gaza to help search for the bodies. Until now, Israel had not approved the entry of such teams, claiming that Hamas was capable of finding and returning the bodies itself. On the other hand, protesters filled the hostages square in Tel Aviv, demanding the Israeli government see the hostages deal through and ensure the return of the remaining deceased hostages in Gaza. Drone shots showed hundreds in the square rallying, holding banners and placards with pictures of remaining deceased hostages. The Israeli military conducted an airstrike targeting central Gaza. Israeli military claimed that the strikes targeted an alleged Islamic Jihad militant. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio, speaking to journalists as he left Israel, did not address the strike directly, but he did note that the incidents are common in the immediate aftermath of ceasefires. Rubio also said that he does not envision a permanent division of Gaza, despite Israeli troops remaining in an area prioritized for reconstruction. Israeli forces have withdrawn to a yellow line, leaving them in control of around half of Gaza. Rubio said that an international force would move to enforce security across Palestinian territory. The main Palestinian factions, including Hamas, have agreed to form a committee of technocrats to administer Gaza alongside international ceasefire and reconstruction effort. But Hamas has resisted calls for its immediate disarmament, launching a crackdown on rival Palestinian gangs and armed groups in Gaza since the 2-week-old ceasefire began. All right, let's now cut live to Kuala Lumpur, where U.S. President Donald Trump has arrived in Malaysia. He was welcomed by Malaysian leader Anwar Ibrahim. Now, U.S. President Donald Trump has now landed in Malaysia. He is now being welcomed by leaders there, including Malaysian leader Anwar Ibrahim. Now, of course, Donald Trump is, set to witness the signing of a peace agreement between Thailand and Cambodia. And, of course, the deal comes after deadly border clashes in July. Now, President Trump's participation at the summit does form a part of his wider Asia tour, which is his first visit to the region this term, where he is expected to pursue new investment opportunities and peace initiatives before a face-to-face meeting with Chinese President Xi Jinping. Now, while he was on his way to Malaysia, President Trump did meet with the Emir of Qatar and Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani. Now, what you see is Donald Trump now being welcomed by Malaysian leader, receiving a red carpet welcome there. With this, he has begun his Asia tour.
Excuse me!
And there you see the two leaders, U.S. President Donald Trump and Malaysia's leader Anwar Ibrahim, standing close by on the red carpet where he's welcomed for an Asia tour that he has begun with the ASEAN summit. Now, Trump is also scheduled to meet with Anwar Ibrahim, that he's meeting right now, who has been central in guiding and hosting Thai-Cambodian talks, and they may also be overseeing a signing of a ceasefire deal between Thailand and Cambodia that comes next. The Thai Prime Minister Anutin Charnvirakul has traveled to Malaysia on Saturday to sign a ceasefire agreement with Cambodia and also to hold talks with Trump. Now, of course, this deal will be formalizing an agreement that ended the worst fighting in years between the two countries, though it falls short of a comprehensive peace deal, as of what we know right now. And with that, they will, both the leaders sitting in the car right now. Now, we'll of course be covering all of that from the ground itself. Moving on now, war clouds loom large over the Caribbean Sea as the United States steps up its military buildup in the region. But is there more to this story than drug trafficking? Now, our next report tells you the bigger geopolitical game unfolding in Latin America. Take a look at this report.
The Caribbean Sea is on a knife's edge. U.S. President Donald Trump's war on drug trafficking has entered a deadly new phase. The Pentagon has deployed its most advanced aircraft carrier, the USS Gerald R. Ford, turning the Caribbean into a new theater of war. The U.S. now has at least 8 Navy ships, a submarine and 10 F-35 stealth fighters patrolling near Venezuela. About 6,500 Marines and sailors are in the region, with 3,500 troops on standby. This is the largest U.S. naval buildup in the Caribbean since the Cuban Missile Crisis. America now has nearly as many warships in the Caribbean as it did to defend Israel from Iranian missiles this summer. U.S. forces have already conducted 10 strikes on alleged drug vessels, killing 43 suspected narco-terrorists. The scale of this deployment has baffled experts. Is this really about drugs, or something far bigger? Since the Cold War, Russia has tried to limit U.S. influence in Latin America, and now China has joined the game. Beijing is Latin America's second-largest trading partner, with trade soaring to $518 billion last year. And Venezuela alone owes $60 billion in Chinese state loans, a debt that could easily turn into a trap, giving Beijing more influence in the region. The last time tensions peaked, in 2020, Caracas foiled Operation Gideon, a failed sea invasion to oust President Maduro. 2 U.S. mercenaries and 17 attackers were captured. Maduro had then blamed Washington and Colombia, but Trump had denied involvement, saying if the U.S. had acted, it would have been an invasion. 5 years later, the same players are back on the board. But the big question is an invasion in the offing this time around? Bureau report, WION World is one.
Now, moving on, India is bracing for Cyclone Mantha, which is set to hit several Indian states in the next few days. The Indian Meteorological Department has warned a well-marked low-pressure area over the southeast Bay of Bengal that has intensified into a depression and is likely to develop into a cyclonic storm over the southwest and adjoining west central Bay of Bengal in the next 48 hours. Now, before moving towards coast of Andhra Pradesh, the storm is expected to have a maximum sustained wind speed of about 90 to 100 km per hour, gusting to 110 km per hour. In the view of the situation, Cabinet Secretary Dr. T.V. Somanathan has chaired a meeting of National Crisis Management Committee to review preparedness for the impending cyclone in the Bay of Bengal. Now, according to the IMD, the cyclone might make landfall between Visakhapatnam and Machilipatnam early next week and is likely to impact the coastal areas of Andhra Pradesh, including Kalingapatnam and Kakinada. Now, this puts the South Indian state of Andhra Pradesh particularly on high alert, with a red alert issued for the coastal belt and the northern and southern regions. Fishermen have been warned to stay out of the water due to heavy rainfall and strong winds. Now, Andhra Pradesh's Tirupati experienced heavy rainfall already, leading to knee-deep flooding of roads and waterlogging in low-lying areas. Underground bridges have been temporarily closed due to high water levels. Now, Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister N. Chandrababu Naidu has alerted all district collectors, superintendents of police, and other senior officials to remain on high vigilance. The neighboring state of Telangana is expected to receive light to moderate rainfall over the next 2 days, with isolated heavy showers, which is predicted in the southern and eastern districts from 27th to 29th of October. This will be accompanied by gusty winds ranging from 30 to 40 km per hour and thunderstorms. The first level cyclone warning signal has been issued at 9 ports across Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, as authorities are stepping up preparations for safety and precautionary measures. Apart from the above-mentioned states, light to moderate rainfall has also been predicted in some places over West Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Sikkim, and Bihar. In the next couple of days, very heavy rainfall has also been predicted over Andaman and Nicobar Islands and at isolated places over South Odisha. The light to moderate rain are also expected in northeastern states of Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, Tripura, and Arunachal Pradesh. Now, adequate shelters and evacuation arrangements have been made in the states likely to get most affected, while necessary national disaster response forces teams have also been kept on standby as part of preparatory measures. District control rooms have also been activated to monitor the situation closely. Well, coffee, one of America's daily essentials, is getting harder to afford. Prices have climbed sharply over the past year as global supply chains, tariffs, and weather disruptions have pushed costs higher. Now take a look at our next report for more details on this.
Coffee is becoming a luxury for many Americans. The average U.S. price of a pound of ground coffee hit $9.14 in September. That is up from 3% from August and 41% higher than a year ago. Now, the broader consumer price index for coffee has jumped 19% year on year, reflecting the impact of higher import costs, labor expenses, and inflation. Cafes across the country are feeling the strain. Many have raised prices as bean packaging and wage costs climb. The U.S. imports 99% of its coffee, but the Trump administration's tariffs have disrupted that supply. Brazil, which provides 30% of America's coffee, now faces a combined 50% tariff, while Colombia and Vietnam face 10% and 20% tariffs, respectively. Producers have slowed shipments as they negotiate who absorbs the added cost, further tightening supply. Well, so far, coffee has not received any tariff exemptions despite being a non-domestic commodity. Weather too is brewing trouble. Heat, drought, and shifting climate patterns have disrupted coffee harvests around the world, making supply more unpredictable. New climate risks in Brazil have already sent jitters through the market. But there's a growing push in Washington to ease the pressure. Lawmakers from both parties are backing a bill to remove tariffs on coffee imports, arguing that taxing a product that the U.S. barely produces makes no sense. Until that happens, though, the coffee industry and your morning cup will likely remain under strain. This is Bureau Report. WION World is One.
Now, the football world turns its eyes to Madrid as the legendary El Clasico returns. Real Madrid will host Barcelona at the Santiago Bernabeu, with just 2 points separating the sides at the top of La Liga. This match could define the season. Now, this will be the 262nd meeting between the two giants, and Barcelona could draw level in the all-time head-to-head with a win. Madrid come into the game as league leaders under manager Xabi Alonso, who will experience his first Clasico from the dugout. His main weapon, Kylian Mbappe, is in electrifying form, scoring in 10 of his 11 matches this season. Alonso, who won just 5 of the 20 Clásicos he took part in as a player for Real Madrid, will be hoping that Los Blancos' strong home record will stand them in good stead.
It's going to be very intense, evenly matched game. We are aware that there will be very different situations.